That's me. I look like you want to look, I fuck like you want to fuck, I am smart, capable, and most importantly, I'm free in all the ways that you are not.
The power of authenticity is one of the highest forms of power. If you have this form of power, you will be more powerful than 80% of all people, because most people nowadays are similar to those men in Fight Club. They play a mask and don't have the balls to be themselves. In this video, we will explore what power through authenticity means and how you can increase your own authenticity. In the following, we analyze the psyche and transformation of our narrator and protagonist, who we call Jack, for the purpose of this video. Our protagonist, Jack, and Tyler are two different people in the same body, which personalities meld together throughout the movie. Master your own authenticity and you will be more powerful than 80% of all people in modern day society. With this said, this is our protagonist Jack. He can cry or open up emotionally. He lives in the corporate world where everything is fake, a life of consumption where he tries to fill the emptiness within with material things.
Like so many others, I had become a slave.
He's introverted and shy, trapped in his own body, unable to express himself freely or to be himself. He has no control over his life, no direction, no purpose, and no power. We can see his entire state of mind reflected in the way he sits. Jack, like most men in his generation, is drifting through life, surrounded by men with no balls, metaphorically symbolizing him having no balls.
All I have in this world is my balls and my word.
In the meditation, Jack enters his subconscious mind, where he meets his inner child portrayed as a penguin. The concept of inner child healing is very important to understand and master the power of authenticity. The concept involves recognizing and integrating different aspects of our inner child to achieve emotional well-being. The shadow child represents our wounded, insecure and fearful parts, often stemming from negative childhood experiences. The sun child, on the other hand, embodies our healthy, confident and joyful aspects, reflecting our core strengths. Healing involves acknowledging the shadow child's pain and nurturing the sun child's positive traits, leading to a more balanced and authentic self. This process of recognizing and integrating is what Fight Club is about. Lacking the power to express himself freely in the real world, he escapes to an imaginary world where he can break free. In doing so, he avoids facing his fears and instead suppresses them. This is how the shadow child is created, when we suppress our feelings instead of embracing them. In his work, we see that Jack is an example of too much masculine energy, which is often expressed in pure logic, no emotions, coldness, too logical, dogmatic thinking, controlling behavior, no flow, and no heart.
It's a combination of both. I mean, here it is the natural instinct, and here is control. You are to combine the two in harmony. Not if you have one to the extreme, you will be very unscientific. If you have another to the extreme, you become all of a sudden a mechanical man, no longer a human being. So it is a successful combination of both.
He feels imprisoned in his own body, stuck in all areas of his life. This is where he meets Tyler Durden. Tyler is a manifestation of his subconscious mind because he is not able to take control over his life. In real life, this can be manifested in different ways. Here it's manifested as a schizophrenia, a second personality, an imaginary friend to help him resolve his unsuppressed feelings. Tyler Durden's whole philosophy is based on letting go and trust into the unknown. This philosophy is described in Buddhism teachings as wind of Wu Wei, the art of letting go and living with the flow. Tyler is a Joker type personality, which means that he is completely himself. His whole power is centered around authenticity. He is able to be himself in every situation without caring what others think about him. Tyler is what Nietzsche describes as the Übermensch. The Übermensch is not someone who is better than others, but someone who has escaped society and lives in his own world according to his own rules. This is the power of authenticity, and it is one of the highest forms of power because it's the ultimate freedom. He is all what our protagonist wants to be, but has not the balls to be. Tyler is weird, but he expresses his weirdness freely and authentic, what makes his weirdness interesting and underlines his confidence. Our protagonist, on the other hand, is also weird, but he suppresses his weirdness, which makes him creepy and weird in a bad way. Both Tyler and Jack are loners, weirdos, but one expresses his weirdness and the other don't. One is authentic while the other is not. One is powerful and attractive while the other is not. Very interesting. What I realized the other day is that we are all weird. There are no normal people in this society. Everyone is weird in some way, but most people, similar to our protagonist, suppress their weirdness, their authentic self, and instead play a mask to be part of society, to fit in. The power of authenticity is embracing your own weirdness. Once you realize that it's more weird to play a mask and to pretend to be someone, rather than just being yourself, you unlock one of the highest forms of power and true freedom.
Things you own end up owning you.
In Hindu teachings and many other teachings, they describe that the more things you have, the more unhappy you become. This refers to selfish desires and the seeking for more material things to fill the void. But this seeking is an illusion, a never-ending cycle. This void will never be fulfilled by material things because it's something internally within you.
I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
His subconscious mind wants him to hit himself to let out his suppressed anger, opening up and letting go, being vulnerable, being himself. Anger is the emotion of action. Tyler wants him to tap into that emotion of action and let out this anger that he has suppressed for the last years. As they fight, our protagonist lets his anger out for the first time, beginning so his journey of inner child healing. Now that he has someone around him who is weird, it's easier for him to express his own weirdness.
If you could fight anyone, who would you fight?
Fight my boss, probably.
His boss, symbol for father figure, unsolved anger with his own father. A father is a leading figure, and Jack has a lack of a father figure in his life, similar to all the other men we see in the movie.
We're a generation of men raised by women. I'm wondering if another woman is really the answer we need.
This is what happens when you don't let out your anger. This softness and niceness turns then into extreme violence or mental problems like depression or insomnia. All the men we see in the movie are also a reflection of Jack. A whole generation of men who suppress their feelings and so lose their power. Men who were raised by women and lack a father figure. A generation of men with no purpose, no direction and a lot of suppressed emotions. Jack likes Marla, but he doesn't have the courage to admit it and embrace it. Again, emotions he suppresses deep in his subconscious mind. That's why Tyler has something with her.
You're not into her, are you?
No, God, not at all.
Are you sure?
Tyler, as the subconscious mind, pushes him to embrace his suppressed emotions, accepting himself without judgment. But instead of accepting and embracing his emotions, Jack further tries to suppress his emotions. That's why Tyler, as his shadow child, pushes even harder, confronting and provoking him, forcing him to accept and to embrace his emotions. But again, Jack holds on to his mask with all his energy. His resistance is what creates the suffering. He suffers because he doesn't accept it. Instead of letting go, he tries to control it. The root of all suffering is attachment. Buddha. Trying to maintain the facade takes a lot of energy. The more you resist, the more you suffer. This shadow child wants your attention and tries to get it, and when you continue to suppress it, the shadow child will find other, more extreme ways to get your attention. Here in the hand scene, our protagonist is confronted on a new, more extreme level. Tyler, as the shadow child, tries to get his attention by all costs necessary, creating physical pain to destroy the ego facade.
First you have to know, not fear, know that someday you're gonna die.
The secret of life is to die before you die. Eckhart Tolle.
Congratulations. You're one step closer to hitting bottom.
Jack just reached a new level of authenticity, accepting and letting go further.
Man, I see in Fight Club the strongest and smartest men who've ever lived.
The men in Fight Club feel understood, they feel heard. Like I said, all the members are a reflection of a protagonist, they are all in the same situation. Even though this movie is from 1999, this has not changed but is nowadays even more present than ever before. That's why you see nowadays the rise of fake gurus with toxic masculinity, an extreme reaction to a whole generation of cucks and simps. One extreme leads to another extreme. Here on the channel we explore the balance, the harmony of both, the divine masculine, so subscribe for more themes like this. Also, like this video and write a comment to push the algorithm so that we grow together this golden community. Thanks for all the support. The men of Fight Club see Tyler as a father figure, leading figure, because he embodies the freedom they all desire, the freedom to express themselves honestly. Tyler is the first to have the courage to express his uniqueness. He has no hesitation and no fear. He is completely free. By setting this example, he empowers others to express their own individuality. This is similar to real life, like on an empty dance floor where everyone is too afraid to be the first to dance. Those who have the courage to dance first are the leaders and pioneers. With this video, you become part of the 20% who have the balls to express themselves. You are part of those who have the courage to dance first, the leaders and pioneers of all generation. Jack is able to do things normal people wouldn't do, because no one is insane enough to do so. That's actually funny, because insane means in German verrückt. Verrückt. Aus der Reihe rücken. Going out of the line. That's what Übermensch means. Übermensch don't mean to be better or above other, but it means to leave a dogmatic society where everyone is playing a mask and live instead in your own world. To go out of line, to not follow the crowd, to follow your own intuition instead, to express your own weirdness. To realize that nothing is actually weird and that it's more weird to play a mask instead of just being yourself. But like Bruce Lee said, that's the hardest thing to do, because that means to accept oneself truly and to love oneself unconditionally.
No fear, no distractions.
Most people live either in the past or in the future, but in both cases they are living in fear, in the traumas of the past or the anxieties of the future. This is Edgar Tolle, The Power of Now, and Dr. Joe Dispenza, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. Tyler is in the present now. No body, no thing. No time. That's why he breaks the fourth wall. From this present state you tap naturally into focus, flow and zen. Tyler recruits the first members of Fight Club to join Project Mayhem. He introduces more extreme methods to capture Jack's attention, symbolizing a deeper dive into our protagonist's subconscious mind. The men from Fight Club shave their hair, symbol for giving up their individuality, become part of something bigger, surrender themselves, ego death. They joined Project Mayhem because of their desire for purpose and direction. In the car scene, Tyler, as Shadow Child, pushes Jack further, taking more drastic methods to get his attention, confronting him with fear of death, forcing him to let go of control and accept things as they come, forcing him to accept death.
Hitting bottom isn't a weekend retreat. It's not a goddamn seminar. Stop trying to control everything and just let go.
Woods! Crash. Near-death experience. New, deep level of subconscious mind. But even this near-death experience is still not enough. Jack still plays a persona, still hiding behind a mask. He still tries to control things. Tyler, as Shadow Child, has now to take even more extreme methods to get his attention.
And then, Tyler was gone.
Tyler created fight clubs everywhere around the States. Exponential growth. That shows Tyler's charismatic side and his leadership skills, his skills to influence and manipulate people. But it also shows how many modern men lack purpose, direction and masculinity. Tyler uses their insecurities to get them into Project Mayhem, where they get a feeling of purpose, direction and meaning, where they are part of something bigger. Even though Project Mayhem is something bad, and Tyler becomes more of a cult leader, his methods and strategies can be universally applied in other, more positive examples. We could do a whole video where we dive into Tyler Durden as charismatic leader, analyze the methods and strategies he uses to create Project Mayhem. If you're interested to see this, write it in the comments. Jack realizes that he and Tyler are the same person.
You were looking for a way to change your life. You could not do this on your own.
But again, Jack is not accepting it and tries to control everything. He's fighting his own subconscious mind. He is not taking full responsibility and letting go yet. He still tries to control everything and to stop Project Mayhem. But that's not the lesson to learn. Tyler Durden as a Shadow Child tries very hard to bring him into a situation where he is confronted in a way where he can't escape and has to accept his Shadow Child.
Take some responsibility.
Jack begs because he's not taking full responsibility. He gives the responsibility and therefore the power to Tyler. Whom you give the responsibility, you give the power. But then Jack realizes that he has the power because it's all in his own mind.
That guy's even in your hand. in my hand.
The power switches and now Tyler begs Jack to stop. Jack has now the responsibility and therefore the power. Similar to Jack, most of us in modern society give the responsibility and therefore the power to someone else, to our parents, to our ex-partners, to our boss, to our government. But the realization is that we are in control, always, all the time. Jack now completely let go and takes ownership for his life. He accepts and let go, and by so he resolves the shadow child. No more separation, no more Jack and Tyler, only one, oneness. Our protagonist metaphorically died and is now reborn. He is now in balance. End. Conclusion. Like I said in the beginning, the power of authenticity is one of the highest forms of power, and to achieve it is often very hard to do, because to be authentic you need to accept and love yourself unconditionally. Most of us learn early on in childhood to suppress our authenticity to fit into society, to be part of the mass. We learn early on that it's bad to stand out. Being oneself is often classified as weird. But then, when we are adults, we are confronted with, on the one side, the desire to express our authentic nature, and on the other side, with our desire to fit in. We also see in Fight Club more than ever before that attractiveness is less about looks, but about the power you radiate. Always keep in mind that our protagonist and Tyler are in the same body. Our protagonist doesn't look like that. In one scene, he is extremely confident, authentic, attractive, and free in all ways. And in the next scene, he is insecure, fake and unattractive. This switch is within scenes, and sometimes within minutes. This shows us more than ever before that it's all in our minds. How we look, what we radiate and how we appear to others is all within our own mind. With this said, my name is Saint Simon. Thank you for all the comments. I love this community we are building here. The comments under each video shows how many cool people watch these videos. It's always great to have you here. Thank you for watching, and until we see again in the next video.